Hello, I am back with chapter 6. Page 59. All that year the animals worked like slaves, but they were happy in their work. They grudged no effort or sacrifice, well aware that everything that they did was for the benefit of themselves and those of their kind who would come after them, and not for a pack of ideal, thieving human beings. Well, I think the animals still believe that they are working for their freedom, but when I read this, I think the pigs took all of their freedom. They just think the other animals as their slaves. Well, the animals are thinking that if they just overcome the difficulty of building a windmill, everything would be fine. But what if there is a problem during the windmill, building the windmill? Then all the animals might lose hope and really become the animals under the pigs. That it wouldn't be the world that everyone dreamed of. So I'm really worried about it. But it's also really exciting to see how the animals interact with each other. From page 60 and 61, there is the information about the difficulties of building the windmill. The hardest part is breaking the rocks so that they can use it to build it. Because most of the tools are for humans, the animals didn't find a good way to build it effectively. So in this part, I was kind of angry at the pigs because they said that they planned every small thing, so the only thing they had to do was just build the windmill, and they don't have a good way to build it. The animals are carrying the rocks to the top of high places, and this is a very hard work, and the pigs are only helping in really hard situations, which I thought was really unfair. I remember that old Major, who was also a pig, really wanted to make a good world where everyone was equal, but it is changing like the world to the past, from the past, so maybe it's too late to change everything. From page 61, his two slogans, "I will work harder" and "Napoleon is always right," seemed to him a sufficient answer to all problems. So in the hard work, Boxer is working harder. He is asking the other animals to wake him up more early so that he can devote more self. Well, I know that Boxer is a really good animal, really a diligent worker, but I hope that Boxer can take care of himself more, because if he works too hard like this, maybe someday soon he will get unhealthy, which might be a bigger problem to the rest of the animals. Because all the animals like him, Boxer is a hope to other animals. I wish I had a friend like Boxer who can be really active. 62. Nevertheless, as the summer wore on, various unforeseen shortages began to make themselves felt. So the animals are feeling that there is a shortage of food and they need a way to solve this problem. But the problem is that I think that not everything can be done with only the animals. I mean, there would be some food that animals wouldn't be able to make, but they would need them for nutritious food to make them healthy, so I will see what's going on. Page 63. From now onwards, Animal Farm would engage in trade with the neighboring farms. So I guess that Napoleon felt the same way. They have shortage of food, so he decided to trade with the other animal farms. But wasn't there something from the 7 Commandments that the animals weren't allowed to trade with the humans? So the pigs are still like changing the laws by themselves, and they are telling the animals that what they know is not true. They are lies. the pigs are really selfish, I think. They are just thinking the benefits of themselves. I think that they should just remember what they promised with Old Major and come back again, and I wish that Snowball could come back so that it can be a world just when they won the rebellion. Page 63. All the animals remembered passing such resolutions, or at least they thought they remembered it. So just like me, the other animals remember something. They don't know it for sure, but they know that something is wrong and that there was something related to this that wouldn't be allowed. So the animals aren't that stupid, but the pigs are using this because they are not so clever and not so stupid. They are trying to change the situation by themselves. The 4 young pigs know that it is wrong, and they are trying to say something to Napoleon, but as you can know, the sheeps are crying for legs good to legs bad again, and the dogs are barking. So maybe the first step to get rid of Napoleon is to make the sheep and dogs on the other animal sides. Page 64. Mr. Whymper, a solicitor living in Willingdon, had agreed to act as intermediary between Animal Farm and the outside world, and would visit the farm every Monday morning to receive his instructions. Well, the sentence, it was really funny and strange to me, because I think even if it's a fiction story, it is kind of impossible for the humans and animals to trade. I mean, not only the communication, but the humans would mostly be on the human side, and the animals, yeah, maybe because they need it, they could help each other, but it would be hard. And I found it from the lit charts. Mr. Whymper, who is the connector between the farm and the outside world, was the capitalist who became rich, that sell a lot of products, who helped for the USSR. So if Mr. Whymper is kind and thinks about the animals, there would be more benefits that animals would be able to get. But if he's not, the animals might get in trouble. Maybe if he goes on Mr. Jones' side, the animal would maybe be the slaves of Mr. Jones again. Page 64. It was pure imagination, probably traceable in the beginning to lies circulated by Snowball. So the animals are saying something to Napoleon that trading isn't fair, it is against the laws that they made, and Squealer is saying to the animals that there wasn't anything related to it. Snowball would have lied to the animals. But I know that Snowball didn't do anything wrong about this. Napoleon is really violent, very selfish. Also Squealer, who is now under Napoleon. I felt kind of sorry for Squealer because I know that Napoleon would be nice to Squealer, but he wasn't that bad at first. Just like the dog, Squealer is turning into a small Napoleon. Page 65. The human beings did not hate Animal Farm any less now that it was prospering. At first, the humans hated the animals hated humans. But now, because the animals are getting richer, the humans now don't hate the animals, and I think they're becoming very similar. Because the animals are trading, I feel like they're changing into human, and humans many of them are lazy, so they're changing into animals. Page 66. It was about this time that the pigs suddenly moved into the farmhouse and took up their residence there. I am certain that there was one of the commandments that animals shouldn't use beds or anything related to humans, but now the pigs are moving into the house, and Squealer is calling Napoleon leader. He acts as a leader, but I think it is fair to say that he is not a leader, because the animal farm, I think they dreamed the farm to be not have any leaders, be the leader of themselves. So I can see that the situation is getting really worse. But the pigs keep on making lies that it isn't true. I mean, they have to move into the house because they're doing all the brain work. Yeah, it is true that they are doing the brain work, but what about the animals? The animals are working very hard, like 7 days a week, every day, and I think that if they are going to move into the house, all the animals have to move into the house very fairly, so I am very angry at the pigs. So the pigs are also using beds, and animals hear about the rumor that they use the beds, and Muriel reads one of the 7 commandments, and it says, "No animal shall sleep in a bed with sheets." This changed. I know that first it said no animal shall sleep in a bed, and now it says it is added the word sheets. I am guessing that the pigs are changing the laws for their convenience to live more comfortably. Now I feel like they are changing into humans. And the other animals, they are too kind, they are too pure, they don't know what's going on. They just believe them because they know that if they say something, they can get attacked just like Snowball did. So I felt very sorry for them. If I was Napoleon, I would never do this mean thing. Page 68. So the windmill is about half finished, and the animals are very tired, but they are very happy. They feel like the windmill will compensate everything. Yeah, they must be happy because they are doing the windmill project almost the whole time of the day. I understand them, but I think the animals have a hard situation, but the pigs are living very comfortably. They wake up later than the other animals. They live in a good house. Maybe building a windmill more than getting electricity or living comfortably, it's a way for the pigs to control the animals, just as Stalin did. But I think Benjamin is quite clever as much as the pigs. It is a sentence that he refused to be enthusiastic about the windmill just as he did before. So he represents those in the revolution that knew that they were being slaves, but he didn't do anything because he just wanted to live like that. Maybe if Benjamin says something to the animals and the animals follow him, Benjamin could be a leader and compress the pigs who are making them as slaves. Page 69. I was so sad at this part. In a windy day, the windmill was in ruins. And later, Napoleon is saying that Snowball did this. He is screaming like, "Snowball!" Well, in real life, I read from the lit charts again, Stalin demonized Trotsky in a similar way. So I don't know who ruined the windmill. Maybe Napoleon again, just to make the animals work hard. But I think it wouldn't be Snowball because based on what I found from Google, after what happened to Snowball because of Napoleon, he didn't appear or harm anyone. So I don't like Napoleon. I didn't like Snowball too, but no, I think this isn't fair. This isn't the world anyone would have dreamed of, and I think the animal would suffer from pain later on because of Napoleon. Thank you. This is the end of chapter 6.